Danmirr Consultants and Professional Advice Bureau present Achievers.
We all dream of fame and success, but not all our dreams come true. What makes our achievers' dreams come true? Our achiever today is Saeed Jafri, an iconic actor, a legend, successful both ends of the spectrum, both the Hindi film industry and Hollywood. Let's take a fascinating journey through his life. Assalamu alaikum ji. So nice to meet you. So nice to meet you. I'll help you sit down. Please come. Mr. Jafri, you're a legend, one of the most celebrated actors, both in the Indian film industry and the international film industry. Welcome to our show.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for coming.
Wonderful to be here.
Thank you so much. So, Mr. Jafri, you're one of the very few actors who's been extremely successful both ends of the spectrum, may that be Bollywood or Hollywood. Do you think it was just sheer opportunity or was it pure talent?
It was a combination of things. Talent, opportunity, and all the things that went into your profession, into your professional growth. You see, when I was growing up in India, there were no drama schools in India.
Yes.
But the university I went to for my BA and MA was Allahabad University, which is supposed to be at that time the Oxford Cambridge of India. Anyway, since there were no drama schools in India, I always felt that I needed to go to some place which would teach me how to act. So at that time I was in love with this lady called Madhur.
Yes.
Now called Madhur Jafri.
Yes, I
There's
know.
all the cookery programs.
Yes.
I was deeply in love with her, and a scholarship opportunity came to go to the Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts, RADA. And I said, no, I'll step down, darling, you go. And she did.
Acha.
And then there was no place for me to go to. So I applied for an American scholarship called the Fulbright Scholarship.
Yes.
And that took me to Washington, D.C. So I got my MA in drama from the Catholic University in Washington, D.C.
But Jafri Saab, who inspired you into drama? Was it your upbringing?
My mother. My mother used to go to a party and bring the party home.
Acha. And it was her inspiration?
Imitate all the people that she had met.
Acha.
So the talent came entirely from her.
Okay. And she encouraged you?
Yes, at that time she didn't know. I was a young boy, in the legal school. She didn't say no, of course. And neither did my father, who was a doctor.
Yes.
He said, if that's what you want to do.
So they were supportive parents?
Oh, supportive parents, absolutely. So I applied for this Fulbright scholarship that took me to America. And I got my MA in drama. And that led to a Shakespeare tour.
Yes.
With an American Shakespeare company. And it was very funny because I was the first Indian ever to be touring with that American Shakespeare company. So I'll make you laugh. So when we were touring with the American Shakespeare company, we'd go to a convent. Somebody say, "Oh, sister, meet our senior actor. Saeed Jafri. He's been playing Friar Lawrence, and he's an Indian. And the sister would say, "Wonderful. Which tribe?"
And then you met your wife, Madhur Bahadur, at that time, while you were
At All India Radio.
in All India Radio, exactly. So it was love at first sight. You
Yes.
just had to marry her.
Yes, but
How-
we didn't get married immediately.
Okay.
You know,
So there was a courtship period.
I mean, yeah. Then there was the scholarship to go to RADA, and I stood down. She went.
Now, coming back to Madhur, when you went to America, then your marriage ended there.
Yes,
And
because I'll tell you, make you laugh. I was having this lovely time touring with this American Shakespeare company.
yes, you were.
And at one point, she rang me up from Washington, D.C. And she said, "Saeed, if we don't get married now, I'm going back to India." So I left the company. The company went on to tour Italy and all sorts of places. But I left them and flew all the way to Washington, D.C. And that's why we got married.
But Mr. Jafri, why did that marriage end?
We had happy times together and moved to New York, which is where my 3 daughters were born.
Yes.
Zia, who is a writer, author, Chubby, Meera, who is a teacher, and then Mittu, Sakina, the youngest, and she's an actress. And a few years ago, I did a film called Masala,
Yes.
in which I played Lord Krishna and 2 other characters, different parts specially written for me. And then that's where I got to know her and she got to know me, because the daughter of one of the characters was her,
Okay.
was cast as her.
Cast as her.
So my wife Jennifer and I and Sakina spent long time, happy time, in Chicago and places like that. And we got to know her, she got to know us, and so on.
Later onwards, you also went to the UK and you tried to break into the British film and TV industry. Was that difficult for you?
No.
It was easy to...
No. Yeah. Everything's not easy.
No, it's not easy. But you worked at Harrods for some time, didn't you? As a sales assistant.
God! As an actor, you go through hard times when there's no work and no income coming. And I was sleeping in forests, on benches, because I had no other place to live, to sleep in. So during that time, I joined Harrods during Christmas time as a Christmas
Yes, sales assistant.
sales, and Ingrid Bergman, that I had done a play with, somebody said, "Oh, Saeed, guess who's out there? Ingrid Bergman." Oh God, I just get dressed up and things like that. So I got all dressed up and went down. And I'll never forget her saying, "Oh, darling Saeed, what are you doing here? Buying up Harrods?" And I had 50 cents in my pocket.
Yeah. when the going got tough और मुश्किल वक्त आए एक्टिंग के दौरान, आपने कभी सोचा चलो मैं गिव अप कर देता हूँ?
ना, कभी नहीं.
कभी नहीं सोचा.
No.
You persevered.
Absolutely.
And where did you get your strength from?
That's the only way to survive.
But उस ज़माने में आपने ये नहीं सोचा कि मैं इंडिया में ही रह के हिंदी फिल्म का एक्टर बन जाता हूँ?
नहीं.
All the way and.
I didn't want all that.
Really? Why is that?
I don't know, because I learned to act and everything outside in America.
So that's why you wanted to capture that market.
Yeah.
And where were you most comfortable working? India or America? Or England for that matter, because you worked in all three countries.
America and England.
America and England. And why is that, G? Is it more professional, you feel? What's the difference between the industry here and the industry in India?
No, the industry in India, I did 100 films.
In India, yes, you did.
You know, it's a different way of working. I mean, I had to learn 10 pages of dialogue from 3 different films. Every day, sometimes, in the car, and doing the Indian films. Because we did about 4 films in a day.
4 films in a day?
Yeah.
Does that not destroy your creativity?
No, 4 different parts. Doesn't destroy your creativity.
Because you have to channel yourself for a role, don't you? And really put yourself into the character. Isn't it difficult to put yourself into 4 different characters?
No, it's not.
Really?
Yes, no, because you see, I went to the repertory company. And repertory company means that you're doing 3 different roles or 4 different roles in 4 different plays in a day.
Because these days you have actors like Amir Khan who only do 1 movie a year.
No, I'm not interested in those kind of artists.
So,
acting is, keeping so many characters alive.
And you think one can do that? Keep many actors alive?
Of course. That's what working in America taught me.
We're talking to an iconic actor, Saeed Jafri. We're going to go for a short break and see you soon.
He's standing there, get me a cup of coffee, for Christ's sake.
So Saeed ji, have you had your dream role? And if not, what would have been your dream role?
What is this bloody Muslim chap going to do with my role? Hare Parwana Suza.
Danmirr Consultants present Achievers.
And back to Saeed Jafri, taking a journey through his life. Your first big international movie was The Man Who Would Be King. And you starred opposite Sean Connery and Michael Caine.
Yes.
How was that experience for you?
Absolutely marvelous.
आप बता रहे थे about Sean Connery that you had a really nice time on the movie. So please tell us a little bit more about him. The Man Who Would Be King.
The Man Who Would Be King. My memories of that are mainly Michael Caine.
Acha.
Michael Caine was such a wonderful chap to work with. I'll never forget him saying, Saeed, if you're playing one of the leading roles in the movie, make sure you get to know the entire company by their first name. Then the company feels like a family.
That's true. आपने सिनेमा में काम किया, थिएटर में, टीवी में. What was your best medium of expression?
सिनेमा जो है वो उसकी ज़िंदगी काफ़ी लंबी है. एक काम अपने फिल्म में किया तो हमेशा के लिए रहता है वो. टेलीविज़न में जो है कुछ रहते हैं, कुछ नहीं रहते। स्टेज में जो काम है वो जब आपने काम किया तो खूबसूरती से किया और अच्छा था, मगर एक दफ़ा वो ख़त्म हो गया तो उसकी ज़िंदगी भी ख़त्म हो गई। तो सिनेमा कुछ काम जो हैं वो हमेशा के रहने के लिए।
तो कुछ एक्टर्स कहते हैं कि थिएटर इसलिए ज़्यादा पसंद करते हैं क्योंकि उसमें वो कट नहीं होता, एक कंटिन्यूटी होती है।
नहीं, थिएटर जो है
कि एक दफ़ा जब आप स्टेज पे जाते हो तो फिर आप
बिल्कुल आपको कंटिन्यू करना पड़ता है। हाँ, बिल्कुल।
डायरेक्टर कट नहीं कहता।
नहीं, कट कोई नहीं कहता। और वो एक्टिंग की ट्रेनिंग के लिए बहुत अच्छी बात है। थिएटर में हमारे जो करते थे, एक रोल आप कर रहे हैं दोपहर को, शाम को कोई दूसरा रोल कम्प्लीटली डिफरेंट है वो आप कर रहे हैं, वगैरह वगैरह।
Did you ever feel, Ji, when you were working in the West, that there was any discrimination against Asian actors, or perhaps the roles were very limited and not big enough?
No, that was the challenge.
That was the challenge.
Yeah. So you had to prove to them that you could do it.
Now, what inspired you to write your book? Because people also find writing their books very therapeutic.
Well, some people write, publishers, they got in touch with me and said, Saeed, you had such a wonderful life. Why don't you share it with us all? Write your autobiography.
Yes.
So that's how I started writing.
And also, as the years progressed, you were one actor who kept getting good roles in both India and in the West. What is the reason for the longevity of your career?
Ask God.
Really? Because you have a really, your faith is very strong.
Absolutely. I don't believe in any one religion. I'm a Muslim, thank God I am. But I know Hinduism and everything like that. Buddhism, Christianity, so on.
Now, Saeed, you were nominated for a BAFTA for your role in My Beautiful Laundrette. What was that experience like?
When you worked hard on something, if that is being appreciated enough to be nominated for an award, then it's, you just thank God.
And how was it making the movie? I believe the opening scene was quite interesting.
The opening scene was making love to Shirley Ann Field.
Oh, okay. And who was making love to her?
Me.
Of course. How was that?
So I had a laundrette in that. And she came in, visiting things. And we ended up in bed.
And is it awkward filming these particular scenes?
Why? Why should it be awkward?
Really?
Why?
Are you in your element then?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. There you go, Tiger. And you also, played a role in Gandhi.
Yes,
A
Sardar
monumental movie, exactly. The role of Sardar Patel. Now, how was that experience for you?
That was a wonderful experience because I discovered that I was one stone lighter than what Sardar Patel was.
I know. You really had to bulk up for that role, didn't you?
I did. I had to start eating and everything like that, and I had to do
क्या
push-ups.
खाया आपने? पराठे?
जो कुछ भी,
हर चीज़?
something, हाँ, anything, would give you weight. And then I knew that he used to do push-ups. So I started doing push-ups to develop these muscles. And then Sardar Patel, didn't believe in Pakistan.
Ji.
So he must have said, what is this bloody Muslim chap going to do with my role? And Jennifer and I were in the hotel in Delhi. And his spirit came. And he saw me. And he saw that I had been browning up in the sun. He saw that I had
You were
been...
really tanned in that movie.
Yeah. And you know, I've been doing push-ups and things like that. And he felt my muscles. And then he just gave me his blessings and left.
So you did justice to the role.
I did just the role.
So Saeed ji, have you had your dream role? And if not, what would have been your dream role?
I don't know. Every role is a challenge. And every role has a kind of romantic side to it. And what you make of the role that you are offered, that is the important thing.
You're now married,
Happily.
very happily married to your wife Jennifer, who's also your agent. And Jennifer comes across as someone who's very protective of you, and she's extremely affectionate towards you. How did you guys meet?
Oh, there used to be an actor called Tariq Yunus. And I remember being invited. I used to go by myself by then, you know, invited to parties at his place. And anyway, I went to this party. And the party and the people there were so boring that I went outside the house and sat on a bench outside. And the girl sitting next to me in the bench was Jennifer. And we talked and talked and talked for hours and hours without it feeling like hours. And slowly and steadily, we knew that we were the ones for each other.
So should we ask Jennifer to join us, Saeed?
Yes, why not?
Let's get Jennifer in.
Come.
Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. So you're the rock in Saeed's life.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And Jennifer, you seem very protective about Saeed. We were watching that, you know, you look after every little deed, even if that's cleaning his, the lens in his eyeglasses.
Well, I've very foolishly allowed him to become dependent on me. I think women like a man to be dependent on them, but then when they become totally dependent, it's a bit of a problem. But, you know, Saeed is getting older now, so I do sort of look after him, and I've got a bit more time now to look after him. And of course, when he was at the height of his career, he used to travel all over the world on his own, and he used to go backwards and forwards to India, and people used to say to me, you know, how come your marriage is lasting so long, you know? And I said, well, we live in different countries. So,
And Mr. Jafri, any regrets?
None whatsoever.
Lived a full life. MashaAllah. And what would you want your legacy to be?
I don't know. Jennifer, will you tell us?
I think the wonderful thing as an actor is that you leave behind all your work, there, especially if you do films, you know, it's there for people to see forever.
Everybody,
they can't criticise his work.
no, stage plays finish when they finish. But films, the man who would be king. God.
Your biggest legacy?
So many years ago.
Now, what we're going to do is we're going to have a round called What's on Your Mind. And I'll give you two choices and you have to pick one.
Okay.
Okay? So, should we start? Marilyn Monroe or Brigitte Bardot?
Definitely Marilyn. I knew her.
Really?
Yes.
And throughout this
actor's
interview, just when everything is wrapping up, you tell
In
me
the
you knew
actor's
Marilyn
studio.
Monroe.
I met Marilyn Monroe. I used to go to the actor's studio,
Okay, so
the
please,
Lee Strasberg place.
what's on your mind can wait. Tell me a little about Marilyn Monroe.
Marilyn was one of the sweetest, gentlest, happiest girls that I have ever met.
Was she really as beautiful as people remember her to be?
She was, but she never flaunted it or anything like that. And she used to appreciate, she had just got married to Arthur Miller. And she used to love everybody else, at the actor's studio in New York. Said, Marilyn, you're standing there, get me a cup of coffee, for Christ's sake. And I don't think you should talk to me like that.
Really?
I do my best for the studio too,
Oh, cute.
So I never called her Marilyn. I said, Mrs. Miller.
Oh.
You look beautiful. I says, oh, thank God. And then would rise in appreciation,
Oh,
and she'd blush. She was just the most beautiful one. And when she died, I cried and cried and cried.
well, we'll come back to our What's on Your Mind round. King and I or Sound of Music?
King and I.
Elvis Presley or Beatles?
Elvis Presley.
Laddus or Gulab Jamun?
Gulab Jamun.
Nihari or biryani?
Biryani.
Rolls Royce or Bentley?
Rolls Royce.
Kabhi kabhi chalte chalte?
Kabhi kabhi.
Kabhi kabhi. And Saeed, a small request.
What?
We would love to, we know you do some wonderful shairi. And if you could say a few words for us.
Well, it's in Farsi. I can always, quote Ghalib Saab and things like that, Iqbal and so on. But those have been done before. But Noor Jahan, Empress Noor Jahan, she wrote this beautiful couplet in Farsi, in Persian, that has always remained with me. Because, she ruled India.
Ji.
But she says, Bar mazar ma ghariban, ne chiraghe, ne guli, ne pare parwana suzad, ne sadae bulbuli. By the grave of this impoverished soul, no lamp is lit, and no flower blooms. There is no flutter of wings, and even the nightingale is silent.
Thank you so much. You're an inspiration, you're a legend, and we are so proud to have you here today.
God bless you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's been wonderful talking to Saeed Jafri and taking a journey down memory lane. We'll see you next week with our next achiever. Stay tuned.
Danmirr Consultants and Professional Advice Bureau present Achievers.